Now, following an 832-point drop, and apparently it's gone down again today, Mr. Trump blamed the Fed. The Fed has gone crazy, he said. He told reporters yesterday as he arrived in Pennsylvania for a campaign rally. And he went on and says, you can say that, well, that's a lot of safety actually, and it is a lot of safety and it gives you a lot of margins, but I think the Fed has gone crazy. And he also thinks the Fed is making a mistake. They're so tight, Trump said, adding that he rarely disagrees with the Fed raising the interest rates. Now, I agree with that. It's a fine and fair comment. But perhaps a suggestion, is it not time for Mr. Trump to consider acting on the papers already implemented following actions that have been taken against the Fed this year? The longer it goes on, the more pain the people suffer. At some point, actions have to be taken. I'm sure the public will support it. Well, I know they will. And would it not be a campaign winner for the up-and-coming midterm elections? Next Intel item. Actually, it's the final one, I think, before we get into op-ed pieces. This will shock many and disturb many as well, but it has to be said. There's a modern-day crisis in America, and it's to do with veterans. And it's not the obvious issue of PTSD, drugs and homelessness, which we have covered a lot in our shows. No, this has far more lasting issues that may only be resolved by them all dying of old age or some other issue. The issue is, at this point in time, and near or far future, all American troops will be left overseas, maybe permanently. Now, this has nothing to do with war on terror or New World Order global domination. This has to do with the deliberate drug use done to all American soldiers for various programs administered by those at the top. As I understand it, it is currently deemed a matter of full-scale national security for soldiers to return home. And the reason being is we currently cannot cope with the soldiers returning with all kinds of drug abuse and disease created by vaccine abuse done to them by their superiors, plus the fallout of the public as they find out what they have really been doing, sending their sons and daughters to do, and what has been done to them. And this is why, as it stands, they can't return home at this point. Now, it appears that current thinking by the military is they are all left. They all get left in position and never return. And as they all die off from old age and whatever, then the problem will go away. Or so they think. Now, this is typical thinking of certain generals. Ignore the problem and hope it goes away, or eliminate the problem entirely in some friendly fire mishap. The people have to demand that funding is set aside, preferably out of the military budgets, so they have less money to spend on killing people and more money to spend on saving people, and provide a safe environment for the support of returning soldiers. Maybe initial help could be done on military bases, or we could build new centres for their rehabilitation and ultimate return to their families, depending on the severity of each case. The term soul dyer makes much more sense now, doesn't it? Your children were used as sacrificial soul dyers and MK Ultra style guinea pigs. And as the song says, generals gathered in their masses just like witches at black masses. War pigs. This is a national disgrace. We have to provide the facilities to enable our sons and daughters to return home, not let them rot and die somewhere else on some foreign shore. We did enough of that with Vietnam, except not all from Vietnam were missing, were they? A lot of the so-called missing prisoners of war in Vietnam were brought home privately and housed in what is known as Hotel California. You can check out, but you can never leave. And those people were tortured, genetic testing, and all kinds of insidious research was done on them for many years. This problem has to be addressed, and quickly.